You know, and that's the great thing about the Stampede. They're always evolving into something else.
That's
and the
right.
lounge at Nashville North, fantastic. You must visit.
Stop by and check it out. What else you got going on for
Well,
me?
you know, again, food we've been chatting with about all the time. And of course, you got your corn dogs and you got your scorpion pizzas.
And you got your $100 hot dogs this year.
Boy, we've got to try one of those things. But there's something that's kind of cool that we brought Chef Jen in here. She's an Access producer here at Shaw TV and a registered chef.
And a very good one at that.
And she loves oysters.
She does.
Take a
You
look.
ever had them?
I love them.
This is a great addition to any Stampede barbecue. I truly love an oyster on the grill. It's a great introduction to some friends who haven't had them, as well as it's a quick go-to, relatively simple to prepare, and it comes in its own little vessel where you get to use it as a spoon. To shuck an oyster, 1, oyster knife. 2, you're going to need to find the hinge on the oyster. It's pretty easy. There's a rounded end and a hinge end. You actually want to physically look and find it because that's where your knife is going to go. I also need a towel that's going to keep my hand protected as well as help me secure the oyster. So I'm going to start by getting a firm grip with my oyster, take my knife into the hinge end, and I really want to protect my hand here. Pushing on a downward motion, I want to find the inside of the oyster, and you can almost feel it pop. This is going to be a little bit of work, but it's well worth the effort. Nailed it. So, now that I've popped my oyster nicely and delicately, if you chip some skin away, that's okay, just be careful. I'm going to run my knife along the side of the oyster. Going to help me sort of pry it open a little bit. Now, it's going to be hard to get into. There's a muscle that attaches to the top and a muscle that attaches to the bottom. So what I want to do is I want to take my oyster knife and actually run it on an angle along the top of the oyster, and that's going to help me release the shell. You also want to be very careful that you don't damage the oyster meat. So I've gotten into my oyster. I want to be very careful at this point because you want to save these juices. I'm going to run my knife along the bottom end of it as well, and then I'm going to put it on a surface where none of that juice can escape. I've got my oysters shucked. I'm going to head out to the grill. I love grilling them because it's just a different variation on the raw oyster, as well as it's a little more friendly for your guests if they're not so sure about them. This is excellent at your Stampede party. It's a real crowd pleaser. Happy stampeding!